Well, when you have a client progressing slow, normally for me, it's always been because I'm just starting to learn that body. It's in the past when I had a lot of amateurs, it would happen obviously more often than the pro athletes that I've been working with for a while, because I've already got to know their bodies. And what I would do is I would make sure that I go, hey, look, do we have a metabolic shift? Has it slowed down because we might be over dieting, right? So you got to look and say, hey, are the calories too low? So, that's hence higher calories, or a cheat meal need to go in there. Maybe the person's really working hard. I always give people the benefit of the doubt. And instead of saying they're not working hard enough, back in the day, I would think that, because when I have the more up and coming people, they're more tend to be, I don't want to say on the lazy side, but willing to cut corners. Now, when people are making their living doing this, there's less of that, because people want to make sure they put the food on their table. So I'm always at an advantage versus a regular trainer, because at the end of the day, the regular trainer doesn't have to worry about the pressure of an athlete having to put food on their table, but they also don't have the ability to have that person have that high level of respect for what you're telling them to do. Because if somebody is really dialed in and saying, hey, look, man, this is going to affect my contract, they're going to want to listen to you more. They're going to want to be able to cross their T's and dot their I's. So there's a balancing act there. So there's pros and cons to both of them, but all in all, I would rather bring in somebody who's more of a professional or treats it like a profession, because they're more likely to listen to you. So that being said, making sure that they're needing the rest, because if they're training super hard and they're like, hey man, I haven't had a break, or on the days you told me to take a break, I went in and did abs, I did some extra cardio, I did an extra workout. Okay, maybe we need to chill out and let your body rest, give it an extra day of rest. So that's the other thing. And so between those things, that usually takes care of it. So either, to bump the calories through carbs, or, extra food and calories in general, or a cheat meal to kind of be able to spike that metabolism, or being able to take a day off. That's usually takes care of most of the time, any of the issues with slow progress, Well, I think obviously what you do at that point, then if that's not working, then you bump up, the cardio. You say, okay, we need to bump the cardio a little bit. Let's see if that happens. And if it starts to progress, then you say, okay, well, how fast is that progressing? Normally on an average person, you're going to lose a couple pounds of body fat a week. And if you are starting to do the calculations and you say, hey, I got 4 weeks and we're this many pounds and this many pounds of water, then I reverse engineer it and I go, okay, is he going to make it? Then you have to turn around and decide, hey, look, maybe for whatever reason, whether they weren't listening or whether their body was slow to adjust, or, for whatever reason, I mean, 9 times out of 10, it's somebody telling me, hey, look, man, I haven't been able to follow things perfectly because of my work, my wife, my life, all of these personal reasons. And I want to reset, can we do another show? And again, in the past, when I had amateurs, they were talking about doing that. And then we said, yeah, we don't want you to just show up just to show up. You want to be competitive. So then you turn around at like 5 or 6 weeks out and say, okay, can this person make it? And then at that point, then if you need to make an adjustment, then you have to pick another show. But I did hate when somebody would just kind of continue to keep doing that. And they were like, hey, let me just pick another show. And then you're like, wait, man, you're wasting my time here. So that's something you want to stay away from.